right now we just want to get into edit type and then talk about the properties of edit of the texts actually. Just like the other elements in Revit and also in Annotate tab, as you can see, we can modify the size of the text using scales as I showed you. Let me move the text and then I position it there to mask the other texts. Or I can open View tab. I change the canvas theme like this way. Okay. If I select the text and then I open edit type, firstly, I want to duplicate a type, okay, for my desired purpose. And then I assign a name for the new type, like text scale 1 to 100, 5 millimeters height. Like this way, then I click on OK. In this part, I can determine or modify the color of the text. We can choose whatever we want. Again, annotate text. We open the settings. Then I choose the created type. Afterwards, we set the background to opaque or transparent. Previously, we could have specified the line weight. Watch this. This is transparent. So the items that are placed at the back of the text, they are visible as well. So if we set it to opaque, then the elements that are placed at the back of the text, they won't be visible. And the next one, let me show you from this type, is show border. If I check this, then the border text will be displayed. As you can see, the next one, letter or border offset. Here if I add a letter like this way, then we can specify the offset between the border and the letter. As you can see, there is an offset between the letter and the border. So I can open the type properties and then adjust this, for instance 1 millimeter, like this way. And if I uncheck the border, then this will be the result, 0 for the distance, like this way, or 5 millimeters. Watch. And sometimes the texts are like this. Let me remove the letters and then I align them to the left, for example. Afterwards, I add a letter at the right side. And then here we got multiple options for positioning the letters at top, center, or bottom, but I place it there. And afterwards, I can choose the created type. I want to duplicate another type out of it. 7 millimeters height, for instance, for the new type. And then I define the letter or border offset here, 10 millimeters. In order to show this offset, 50. Look, this is the offset that we can control it. Anyway, choosing the type. So this was the letter and border offset to the text. I show the borders. The next one is letter arrowhead. As you can see, the arrowhead has been set to arrow. You can set it to field arrow or arrow 30 degrees, arrow field, field box, or field dot, or diagonal. You know, we have talked about this in the previous symbols or letter and arrowheads in rooms and others. So we got multiple symbols that we can use them based on our needs. The next one is related to the text itself. For instance, the text font. You can choose whatever you want, Royal or New York and others. The next one, text size. We specified 5. And the next, we got tab size that as you're concerned, we got a bottom name tab. I mean, if I press down tab while adding a text, then it creates 4 spaces in the notepad or in the text. Here, as you can see, the tab size is 12.7 millimeters. I mean, if I press down tab, as you can see, there is a 12.7 millimeters offset or space between two. If I again press down tab, look, this is the result. And even if I select the existing texts and then if I press down tab, watch this, you can add the space of 12.7 millimeters like this way. Look, this is the tab size that we can control it. And watch this, in tab size 10 millimeters, watch, or 12.7, or how much you want. And here we should add a space instead of the tab, so when the tab removes, we got the space again. Again, select type properties, then I check bold to bold the text, or make them italic, or make them underlined, like this way. And the next one is white factor. And as you are concerned, when we check the bold or italic, then the whole part will be bold or italic or underlined. However, we can choose the words, as you can see, independent to others and make them bold or italic, like this way. And the last one is white factor that we talked about it before. We can stretch or compress the text. Most of the time we specify not 0.8 and not 0.95 or 90. If we specify a value more than 1, it will be stretched, but the values before 1 compresses or compress the text for us. But we usually set a value between 0.8 and 0.95. And this was about editing texts instantly and the type properties.